Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review, we're going to be looking at the 2022 Legacy Deluxe Class Knockout figure. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox him in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're then going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. We'll then do some comparisons with him and some other knockout figures that have been released down the generations toy line. And we can, of course, see how he fares as well with some of the other legacy figures that have, again, been released in Wave 2 as well. So, before we open the box up, we're going to first and foremost have a look at the amazing artwork on the packaging. And I'm also going to take this opportunity now to thank Robot Recruits, because that's who I pre-ordered this from. And as you can see, they got it out to me nice and safely. And even though, yes, again, it is a windowless box, again, you can see there's no damage there at all. We've got beautiful artwork there. I like the way that they do the alternate mode on the front, because you can see the bot in robot mode inside. And then on the side, you've got at the bottom part, you've obviously got the pretty much full-length artwork of the robot, and then a close-up there of the bust of him as well. And again, it's just simply stunning artwork. And I suppose what's quite, weird already is this is becoming, becoming quite accustomed to this. This was very new, obviously, recently, but this is, of course, the legacy artwork, and funnily enough, that is all Wave 1 there. Now, we can see that it's going to take 18 steps to transform him, and I think I'm going to have a go at opening him up from the bottom, because I usually have a bit of better luck opening him up from there. And to be honest, this is one of the main figures from this line that I'm looking forward to, reviewing and having a look at myself. I'm still a bit guilty of not finishing all of the Prime cartoons, so he's an interesting character and an interesting figure. And what I like about this is I will get Studio Series 86 jazz down as well, because it's a heavy retool of that. And what I like is the fact that they've managed to make it look, a complete figure on its own, rather than just being a straight redeco and retool. So we've got the instructions on the back. I also like the look of him because I think he looks quite big, and I think he looks quite chunky and quite robust. And to be honest, that does feel quite heavy. Now, we also know we've got obviously the accessories in that pack there. So what I'm going to do, just to save a bit of time with the video, I'm going to set him free from there and come right back to you. Okay then, so I've just set him free from the packaging, and what we're going to do with the rest of this video, then we're going to, in a second, we're going to do some first impressions of him. We're then going to have a detailed look at him in his alternate mode before returning back into his robot mode to see how we can use his accessories and indeed some of them comparisons that I mentioned earlier. Now, funnily enough, I've just, as I say, took him freshly out, and I've noticed that that looked a bit odd. So what I did was I've just checked the instructions, and indeed it is not assembled in robot mode correctly. You can see you've got a whole page here, basically correcting or showing you how you need to do this. So it looks like we've got to fold this up, fold the side bits out like so, and then it looks like this is going to fold over itself like that carefully and fold it back in. So this looks, at the moment, again, this is my complete first impressions. For those of you who are new to the channel, I obviously have a look at some pictures, but I like to do first impressions as exactly that. So I've not seen any other reviewers review, to be honest. So the first impressions of this guy is exactly what I thought. He does feel weighty-ish. He does feel quite robust. There is still, unfortunately, a big gap there. Again, this might move up, though I don't really know. I don't perhaps think it will. We'll see again in a bit more detail when we put him back in robot mode properly. But we've got a beautiful head sculpt there. Again, it will spin all the way around, look up and down. To be honest, I think that there are gaps there, because I'm sure I've done a video highlighting the fact that there's going to be some gap fillers. You've got full rotation in the shoulder all the way around. We've got bicep flexion. We've got wrist, I suppose it's flexion, but you can see it's then, and of course, going to fold into them empty forearms. I know that some people really dislike that. Unfortunately, we do have a waist swivel. We've got hips to the side, to the front, knee bend, ankle tilt, and I imagine there's a rock because it's a new figure. I'll try and work it out for you in a second. I'm pretty sure there will be, but I don't want to break something. There must be, because there's a hinge there, but we'll have a proper look at that when we come back again, when he's in his robot mode, to do the comparisons. The accessories that come with him is this long one first and foremost, and of course we've got 5mm holes and tabs, because the gimmick with Legacy was the fact that we can, of course, combine all the weapons. And it's not even with just Legacy figures, it's brilliant things like this. It's just a standard, I think it's a classics side swipe weapon, and as you can see, as long as you've got the 5mm port, you can connect it in and you can just build things, which I really like the idea of that, to be fair. But we can have a look at that in a bit more detail in a second. Now, I don't think there's much more to say about him in his robot mode. yeah, I mean, maybe it is a bit gappy, let's be honest. I'm quite easy to please, though, because all of my figures I'm going to be displaying this sort of way, so it doesn't bother me as much as and I completely get it. Perhaps they could, but I understand the cost implications as well. So he looks pretty good to me. I love the yellow in the wheels, and I can't wait to see him now in his alternate mode. So let's have a look at him like that. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, he's in his alternate mode. Quick apologies for my transformation process on this video. It's for a couple of reasons. One, to keep the main length of the video down, and the two is not to spoil it for people. With it being a new figure, I think there's something quite satisfying about transforming that figure for the very first time. So if you don't want it spoiling, I haven't done that, obviously. However, if you do want to see it, it's going to be uploaded in a separate video. Now, I really, really like this alternate mode. I think it looks brilliant, to be honest. It does look very, very good. And of course, it does look like an Aston Martin one. 77 like sports car, and it's based obviously on his original cartoon appearance. It looks so good. In fact, it's way better than the original Transformers Prime one, in my opinion. And again, as I say, I've already admitted that I haven't watched all of the episodes yet, but I just think it's better. And to be honest, look, it's bigger. If I pop that there, it is only like about a centimetre, but it is that quite a bit bigger. It's probably a bit more apparent there, and I think this is what I was saying about why this feels a bit bigger and a bit more robust, and it's definitely a bit heavier than this, even with the gaps in the forearms and in the backs of the legs. But the good thing is, again, and what I really like about the Legacy, and in fact all of these things, I think they started it in War for Cybertron, is just how much fun that they can be. So we've got the two accessories. We can obviously pop them together. We can pop them, first and foremost like that on the side, which looks okay. We can then take these, we can pop them together on the roof, which looks reasonable-ish. It looks okay, I suppose, but because you've got these ports, and because all of the figures have got exactly the same, I suppose, exactly that, they've got exactly the same ports and stuff. So if we get like Legacy kickbacks, I suppose Energon swords there, you can pop them on, and I think that actually looks all right. I was just playing around, but it looks okay. It looks perhaps like, I suppose, a speeding off trail or something, but I'm just going to take them out there quickly, and let's have a proper look at it. So I know it sounds silly and trivial, but it's important that the wheels spin around. Some of the figures, the transformation process can indeed permit them from going around, but with this, no issues whatsoever. There is lovely tamper-graphed detail there on the side. I like the fact that we've actually got, you know, different coloured rims inside there. I suppose you can maybe tell that they're the feet, but the rest of it's pretty much all tucked up quite well. It does all click together nicely. Nice bit of detail there on the bumper, translucent windows. I'm really impressed with this, to be honest. Yeah, gutted I didn't get it a bit earlier, in honesty. It's great. It looks really, really good. Now, unfortunately, I've not got this loose, but here's a comparison of this, which is the Dark Energon version, which came out again as part of Transformers Prime, Big Bad Toy Store, and I think Asian exclusives. So this is, of course, just using this mold, but redecoed. And of course, I think this looks way better, even though I love like Dark Energon and things like that. It looks way better than that. I don't think there's much more to say, in all honesty, with him in this alternate mode. So what we need to do now is come back for him in the robot mode for the final time, see how we can use his accessories, and of course do a load of comparisons. Right then, so we're back with him in his robot mode for the final time to do a few comparisons, and also a bit of a correction to myself. Since I've transformed him properly, I've since learned that these, when we took him out of the package, weren't in the correct position either. If you remember, they were in fact like that, and in fact, of course, they shouldn't go like that. So I've learned that these need to go tilted forwards. There we go. And indeed, I think that makes him look even better, in all honesty. So there you go, he's looking even better, in my opinion. Before we have a quick look at the accessories, I'm going to bring in Studio Series 86 Jazz, because I suppose unless you knew this, and now I'm going to point it out to you, he's a heavy retool of this particular mold. So what we've got different is that we've got new head, obviously, new forearms, new thighs, which are them, of course. It's slightly different at the top. Feet, weapons, and vehicle mode parts. So obviously the bumper there. But otherwise, you can see the waist is pretty much the same. The idea of the spinning wheels is pretty much the same. And to be honest, as I've already said, you know, you wouldn't really notice that. And I've got no issue with Hasbro or Takara doing that when they create completely new characters. And some, you know, to some degree, a lot of use of the same molds is it's great business, isn't it? Let's be honest, we can't argue with it, and it clearly works. So let's have a look at the accessories. So I've got an abundance of, I suppose, ideas what you can do with this. You can pop that on the side. You can use this as a gun. Pop it there like so. He's also, of course, got the 5mm ports again on the back of here, so if you wanted to, you can attach things there. If you've got fossilizers, you could perhaps give him extra legs and stuff, but of course, if you wanted to as well, you can also store everything out of sight like this on there on the back. And what I like about this is it gives you that opportunity that if you don't want to be displaying with any accessories, but you don't want to have the boxes or anything lying around, you can pretty much display them. I know you're going to put them in his hands with this particular figure, but with the other figures, you know, you can have all the accessories on him, and not have to really worry about losing them because there's secure places to put them. But I think I'm going to be displaying him in the picture that again is on the back, and how I've already seen him. We're going to make oh, excuse me, we're going to make this trident thing here. So the way I think it does it is that's going at the bottom, that's sticking there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to slide this over the back like so. There we go. That's lovely. That does look really, really good. Let's see though, how's it going to go? Oh, of course it's going to go, is it like that? No, it's going to go in his hand. Of course it is, like this. Again, I'm learning just the same as you guys with regards to these figures. That's the best thing about, I suppose, experiencing them for the first time as we open them. Right, so there is Knockout from Legacy, and this is Knockout from Transformers Prime. Now, he's a little bit taller. Is that because that's not transformed properly? Sometimes it's so awkward to get that in. But I already think he's hands down way better than that version, in all honesty. If you're unsure what this version is, there is a video of him on this channel if you want to check that out. And then the only other version I've got, but again unfortunately it's not loose, is this version, the Beast Hunters version, and it just looks like a bit of a retool of that one, to be honest. Even though that one's not loose, this one I can already see and tell, in my opinion anyway, is hands down perhaps the best version of Knockout that we've got. So how does he fare and compare with some of the other figures? Now, I've not opened any of the other Legacy Wave 2 just yet, but as you can see, he's easily as tall as Kickback from Wave 1. Oh, let's just get these feet and get into balance properly. There we go. He says, and he's still on a slant. What's going on? That's better. And again, he's obviously quite a bit smaller than Blitzwing, but he looks brilliant and displays really well with them. So overall, to be honest, I'm really glad I've got this. I think it's a great addition to the collection. I love the fact that they're venturing into, you know, the Transformers Prime universe as well. So many good figures, so many good characters, and it's nice, you know, to have exactly that. It's nice to have a change. So this is the main comparison that we've seen there. And again, I'm going to say this is definitely the best version of him that I've seen. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys, and of course, please take care.